What is up, YouTube? What is up? We are, spoiler alert, so if you haven't seen Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, it may not be the video for you because I need to go through the stuff that I just witnessed. I did watch it all the way to the end, and I didn't even stay all the way until the final post-credits with Star-Lord will return, and he has this whole reunion with his grandpa. They sit down, I think he has cereal or something, he just sits there and has cereal. But yeah, they said maybe it probably leads to like a whole sort of thing about, you know, a separate standalone movie with Star-Lord. Again, I'm thinking that it might have been based on Earth, so it could be like some sort of like throwback elements, because again, I think Guardians of the Galaxy, with that particular movie, it sort of introduced that whole sort of retro 80s theme. So I mean, that kind of kickstarted everything. That's where you had like things like Thor, Love and Thunder, all the sort of spin-offs that you had. Not the best thing, but I mean, it's making a resurgence. I mean, old is gold, right? That's what they say. But anyway, talking about the movie. So the movie centered around all about Rocket Raccoon, so he's got his whole backstory. So they get attacked by Adam Warlock. During the attack, Rocket is injured, and they need to heal Rocket, and unfortunately they can't heal Rocket because he has some tech inside him, essentially like a kill switch. So because of the whole kill switch, they have to track down the high evolutionary who makes civilizations. So effectively he created Adam Warlock from, I think he did create Adam Warlock and some other sort of civilizations. Basically makes this whole planet called Other Earth. So he makes this, is it Counter Earth, where you've got animals that basically have now become humanized in a sense, and basically have their own civilization. Apparently it's called the perfect civilization, but he wants to track down, his goal in life is to track down Rocket himself, because Rocket is the only person that was able to see something during when this high evolutionary is trying to create this new perfect civilization. These creatures that he was making evolve were for some reason just violent and outrageous and just going, and he was able to actually know about something that he could do, and he was just fascinated. He says, how could this creature that I created know something that I didn't know? And that basically just irks him, and he wants to basically look at his brain to see exactly what he knows that obviously the high evolution doesn't know. He's obsessed with him. They track down this person to essentially get the code to deactivate this kill device that's on his heart, so they can heal Rocket with this stem pack. Throughout the film, I enjoyed it. This Marvel film cracked me up the most. I mean, everyone is funny. You've got all the main characters, they all have comic timing. I just loved it throughout. I mean, it was a funny movie, and this is what I like to see as well. Again, a lot of the Marvel films are sort of PG rated. This is not PG, so you had a lot of sort of stabbing, killing, random needless violence, but then I feel that it works. Peacemaker, that was a James Gunn thing as well, and then seeing more James Gunn sort of stuff, it just works. You know what, Batista, comic gold. You know, loads of things and even the characters are just funny. I just enjoyed it. But yeah, anyway, this was a good film. Rating wise, I have to give it a solid 8 out of 10. It was a great film, enjoyed my watch. The only downside I would say would be the ending. I was hoping that there's going to be like a death during the thing, and it ends on that sort of cliffhanger with like a character dying. There was like talks about basically Drax dying. I mean, he gets shot by like 2 plasma rifles, which I was thinking to myself, oh, okay, maybe go out to save Rocket, and then obviously Drax is hurt, and Drax in this sort of comatose state. But obviously they sort of picture him with Drax is no longer the destroyer, he's more like a father figure. They find this other sort of race that this high evolutionary is made, and becomes more like sort of like akin to that race. That's sort of Drax's sort of stick he's got. Cameos from people as well, like for Nathan Fillion. My opinion, Nathan Fillion should have been the original Uncharted sort of guy to be. He should have been Nathan Drake. There's a fan movie that came out years ago, and that fan movie was just great. I loved it, really enjoyed it, and I was hoping that it wouldn't be Tom Holland, but then they did the whole Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg. But I have to admit, the fan movie was so much better. And Nathan Fillion for me can always be like that other version of Nathan Drake. So someone like Nathan Fillion, he's a great actor. Love him, love Firefly. Anyway, you had that, and who else do you have as well? You had that guy. Okay. So we had also the thing, a cameo that I didn't even know. I was going to when I was sitting there, I was watching the credits, and I saw Pete Davidson. I was like, who the fuck was Pete Davidson? I looked him up afterwards, and the little slimy little creature was Pete Davidson that comes out, and she's like, I wasn't talking about you, I was thinking about the person behind you. So yeah, so a couple of cameos that I didn't actually expect. Also, Sylvester Stallone, my guy, you're like 70 something years old, man. You are an old guy, but you still kick ass. My man is still there. He makes a cameo as well, so he has some cool little cameo moments here and there as well. And the ending part with him as well, talking about the whole sort of death and things. He had a scene where Star-Lord jumps, he goes back to pick up his Walkman. I think a cool thing would have been him losing the Walkman, but he goes back, picks up the Walkman, and then he sort of shoots back and tries to basically, and he just gets like frozen in space and he's saved by them all. That, I mean, that felt really very cliche to me as well. The whole thing with the dance thing at the end as well, that was a bit sort of I didn't really get too much of that. I mean, I understand it's a whole happy-go-lucky experience, but that thing sort of irked me. I think towards the end, the final things that they put, it's like, for example, when you have a good meal and it's spoiled by a dessert, just like ever so slightly, but the meal was still good, but the dessert kind of pissed you off. It's like, for example, they just gave you some sort of like microwave sort of like custard or some shit like that. So anyway, that's my gripe about the film. But apart from that, everything else was good. I really enjoyed it. The whole thing with Gamora as well, and that sort of connection, I love seeing that as well. Him trying to like unveil his feelings and all that sort of stuff. The funny stuff. So it's just comic gold. But then towards the end, her getting back with the Marauders, and there's people, is it Marauders or the Scavengers or whatever these people are, that didn't have the same. I would have hoped that there would be like some sort of connection with Peter or something as well. Maybe something that's sort of like that's still there, and then she has a look, or just she goes back with her little team, her little people that welcome her as her family, and then she has this sort of thing. She thinks about Peter as well still. So maybe seeing that as well would have been good. But that's really it. That's not any downsides with it. But anyway, this has been Ace. That's been my movie review of Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And I'll see you guys next time. As always, Ace out.